Mecha simulators are a mixed bag to say the least. Digging up my review of Gundam Crossfire was a slight testament to that. Oftentimes you're caught between more simulator style aspects and occasionally more arcadey tendencies. They're your mech warriors and they're your Zone of the Enders style experiences. Today's subject feels more like Ace Combat crossed with Zone of the Enders than anything else. Strike Suit Zero and Strike Suit Infinity. I like giant robots and I like spaceships, and it feels like these days, epic fights with robots and spaceships don't enter much into gaming, often opting to go for the mech warrior style option instead. These games get the feeling of zipping across the space battle as the ace pilot down perfectly. It's been a while since I played a space shooter that was so intuitive. The default controls, especially in Zero, work fantastically on gamepads, with everything at your fingertips. By no means is this a new thing. The spaceship gameplay is definitely familiar from various arcadey flight sims, but it's definitely welcome. Also very welcome is the transforming mecha combat. As I've said, zipping around is fantastic, but being able to slow down and, while being more vulnerable, have this immense feeling of power makes this game what it is. The transformation is smooth, the new control scheme with Z targeting and 360-degree movement gelling magically with the ship combat. More powerful guns and missile volleys that can take out entire squads of enemies make the mech a lifesaver and a lot of fun. The way the mech plays and controls is very reminiscent of Zone of the Enders: The Second Runner, if a bit more awkward to move at speed, which is fine, that's what your fighter mode is for. You do get hit a lot if you're not careful, but if you get a handle on the game, it quite quickly becomes a lot of fun. Strike Suit Zero is the version of the game with the actual plot and escalating story missions. These are fantastic. They give you a variety of missions, all with optional objectives that earn you upgrades for the strike suit. As I said, this is good. The plot isn't too bad either, moving in sometimes unpredictable directions, all in an attempt to bring an end to the war, plus some aspects I'm not mentioning for spoiler reasons. There is one thing I would say, is that it feels a little bit like more plot wouldn't hurt the game. It feels a bit short, and like you don't get much quality time with some of these characters. You are a part of the conflict, but somehow still feeling like an outsider. I still don't think there is any clear-cut villain, and we could just as easily be fighting for the other side. There's a wealth of content here, with a second campaign of one-shot stories, but really to get the full experience, you need to get Strike Suit Infinity. Infinity features much of the same gameplay, the same transforming mechs, but this time in an arcadey survival mode. There isn't a plot here, but there is a lot of fun to be had trying to get high scores and see how many rounds you can last. These games are a pair of great visually interesting experiences from relatively humble beginnings. With staff members who've worked on Homeworld and Infinite Space, it's very reminiscent of those slightly unusual space combat games, and it's well worth a buy.